Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Develop podcast series. Y'all, today is a fun episode where we get to highlight a new initiative for the firm and hear directly from the young leader who presented the idea and really took and led the charge on the implementation. With that, I would like to introduce Brandon Russ, who is a Senior Wealth Advisor on our WPWealth team, to the podcast. Welcome, Brandon, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, Danielle. Thanks for having me. It's interesting to be on this side of the mic. Previously, I've always been in your situation, but excited for this one.
Yeah, well, this will be great. We get to talk about a really cool initiative you started at the firm, so I'm excited. So let's dive right on in. So tell us a little bit about you first. Where'd you go to school, and ultimately what led you to join our wealth team?
Yeah, so I think anyone at the firm who knows me knows that I went to Purdue University.
That's true.
I'm a big Boilermaker fan. So I graduated in 2019, and then I applied around for a few jobs, got connected with Tom Ryan here at WPWealth. And the rest is history. Moved down, a few weeks after graduation, and it's been awesome ever since.
Yeah. So where are you from originally?
So I'm originally born actually in upstate New York, but I moved around a little bit growing up. So first 5 years of my life, I was in New York. Then I moved actually to Plano for elementary school. And then after that, I moved to Indianapolis. My family's still there. And I'd lived there until graduation. So
I love it. So Texas isn't new for you, but in your adult life, it is. How's that transition been?
Yeah. So when I originally moved to Texas, I started in Fort Worth, and people may find this surprising, but the people in Fort Worth and Indianapolis are very similar mindsets, really down to earth. It's a close-knit community. So that adjustment wasn't that big. A little more country down here, but that's fun. So it's been great.
I love that. And now you're in Dallas.
Yes.
Has that been a different transition coming from Fort Worth?
Yeah. So, Dallas is kind of where I always wanted to end up. And now that I'm there, it's awesome. Big city, which has always really been intriguing to me. I think I've been there a couple months now, but, that's been a great transition.
Yeah. What's great is they're 30 minutes apart. So really easy to get back and forth.
Exactly. I feel like I'm coming back and forth across the Metroplex once or twice a week all the time anyways. So
that's okay. Okay. So to give a little backstory to our audience, our firm launched an innovation council back in 2019. So when you joined the firm, actually, with the purpose of the council to help strategize more long-term projects of the firm and bring folks together across all different service lines to collaborate on ways to ultimately improve employee and client service. So with that came this idea for our Whitley Penn Idea Tank, which has been so fun to see so many great ideas submitted. So this leads us to Brandon, right, who submitted an idea, a great idea, and not just any idea, but a winning idea. So tell us about this idea you submitted and how you initially thought of it.
Yeah, so my idea was for what's called the NextGen Council, which is pretty much an internal development group for the young professionals here at the firm. The firm previously has a ton of stuff for managers and above, but there was something missing for staff and seniors. So I really wanted to fill that gap. I have a friend who also works in financial services, and his company has a very similar NextGen Council type deal. He was telling me about it, and I was like, wow, that's what Whitley Penn is missing. So, I asked him, can you tell me about this? He did. I took some of those ideas, kind of made it my own. But that's really where NextGen Council came from, and it's been pretty great to see it go from just an idea to, okay, we're up and running. We've had a few meetings now, and we're really rolling now.
Yeah, it's been awesome to watch. So tell us, what were you thinking to follow, right? Did you want to be part of the process of creating and implementing the actual NextGen program? Or at first were you like, this is just the idea, y'all figure it out?
Yeah. Originally I was like, okay, this is an idea. They'll probably hand it off to someone to really work on implementation and run it. I don't have a lot of experience in the whole growth and development aspect. That's not my background, but I was really tasked with getting this up and running. They never like took it away from me. It was always just like, okay, now what? Which is awesome because as I thought of the idea and really started to plan it out and really put everything together, you get attached to it. And I don't know if I would have wanted them to take it away from me. I had the vision in my head of what I wanted it to look like. And if someone else was really running it, I don't know if it would have looked the same.
Yeah. Well, no one knows what you wanted it to look like more so than yourself. So It's been fun to watch you in that process. So how has the process gone, and what's been the biggest lesson you've learned getting to be part of implementing a new program for the firm?
Communication is really difficult, but it's super important. You have to communicate with everyone, not just the people that you want to apply to NextGen Council, but the leaders of the firm and the partners of the firm who are going to have to pretty much be your support system and push those younger people to put their name out there for NextGen.
Yeah.
So just getting all the buy-in, which was pretty easy, but getting that was really the first big hurdle. But we got past it and we're up and going.
Yeah, that's awesome. And now it's keeping that excitement, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
A whole new learning experience.
Yeah, and I think this year it was a little difficult. People are like, "What's NextGen?" Some people had heard of it, some people hadn't. But I think now we have a lot of momentum. The ball is rolling, and I really think that when next year's applications come out, hopefully we're flooded.
I think you will be. Mark my words.
Yeah.
So what have you talked about getting buy-in from upper management. So what have you learned through that process? Any advice you can share to our young professionals? How was the pitch process? What can you encourage them with?
Yeah, so anytime when you're presenting to upper management or anyone in a higher position than you, just make sure, one, you know what you're talking about, and two, you're prepared. I got a lot of questions during my presentations to upper management that if I wasn't prepared and I was just saying like, I don't know, I feel like maybe they wouldn't have bought in as fast or, been as gung-ho about getting this up and running.
Yeah.
But I had, all the answers to all their questions. I thought about everything ahead of time. So, I felt like I was really prepared, and I think that they saw that and they felt comfortable, keep moving this along.
Yeah. It sounds like preparedness and confidence got you a long way. So NextGen is founded on 3 pillars, right? Culture, development, and education. So can you touch on what each of these mean to the NextGen Council and how y'all are working to support each?
Definitely. Well, first things first is culture. So if you strip down everything else that we do in NextGen Council, it's essentially a glorified networking event. And that's awesome because a lot of the staff and senior employees of the firm, senior associates of the firm, you don't really talk to other people outside your service line, let alone your office. But we're able to bring everyone into one place and just connect people from all different service lines and offices, which has been some of the feedback we've gotten back is that's their favorite part, is just meeting other people throughout the firm that they don't usually work with. So that's been great. Next is development. We want to continue to build on what we learn in our service lines, but focus more on the business development side, the personal growth aspect, just learning about the other service lines or practice areas the firm has, which kind of ties into the last one, education. The technical side of your service line, you're going to learn that anyways, but there's so much that our firm does. How do we communicate that to the other young people here at the firm?
Yeah, I think that is so awesome that y'all are doing that. So mentoring is something else y'all focus on. How has mentorship played a role in your life and career? And what advice can you give to both young professionals looking for a mentor and then even more tenured professionals on the influence and impact they have on being a mentor?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've been pretty fortunate through my time here at Willie Penn where I've had a bunch of different mentors, not only in my practice area, but throughout the firm. Tom Ryan has been great. From when I started to where I am today, he's taught me, how to not only be a professional, but how to operate in this line of work that we're in. any advice I have for young professionals looking for a mentor is just ask. I mean, they're not going to say no. I've never been a mentor for anyone, but I'm sure it's pretty fulfilling for them to be a mentor for you. So you'll both get a ton out of it.
Yeah, 100%. I can tell you on both sides, being a mentor is just as fulfilling, maybe even if not more, than the mentee. And it's something so great of even having role models, right? So yes, you can have a mentor that you meet with regularly, ask for advice, but even just looking up to people that do things really well within your career or on your team that you kind of want to model the way they lead helps you become, the best leader you can be while still being true to who you are and your authentic self. So picking up on different things that different role models have in your career can be a great way for you to develop as a leader.
Yeah, and to kind of go more on that, they don't necessarily have to be someone that you work with on a day-to-day basis. If there's someone out there that, you just are like, you look up to them, ask them. Mm-hmm. Even if they're at another company, I think that's maybe even be better. They can give you a different perspective and they're not, playing both sides of it. They are a complete third party to whatever the problem may be or whatever you're looking for help on.
Yeah, different industries. And I mean, you look at a firm like our size with how many different departments we have. So even looking internally across departments, mm-hmm. Probably something y'all can do with NextGen, how you bring in all the departments together of getting advice from different departments. They see things differently. They have different interactions with clients. So lots of good resources and avenues you can do. So going back to NextGen, how do you hope NextGen grows over the next few years, and what do you envision it looking like as our firm continues to grow?
Yeah, so right now we got lucky that we had applicants from every service line in every office. I want that to continue. I hope that as we add more offices and other practice areas that we get to expand along with that. So I really just hope that we can keep up with the firm's growth. The firm's going to grow. We just have to stay relevant and grow with them. And I think that if we're able to do that, then we'll still be able to accomplish everything that we had set out to originally.
Yeah. How awesome is it going to be one day looking back when you're, partner level and you're like, man, that program has really come a long way. You're going to be really excited to watch it grow.
Yeah. I think that, we had a great first year, or we having a great first year, but I think, once we get up and rolling and we're through the first year, all those hiccups, it's just going to be smooth sailing and, there's not going to be a limit to what we can accomplish.
Yeah. Well, the hardest part is starting, right? You guys have started, you've met now a couple times throughout this past year. You're working on your initiatives currently. So what has been the most valuable takeaway in your mind as you started the program, you're meeting, you're working towards your goals?
Yeah, well, so now I have a friend in every office and every service line across the firm. WPWealth, we travel a lot to the other offices because, we're only in a couple. But, when I go out there, I know people. I can go out there and talk to them. We can go grab lunch. We can go to happy hour, whatever. So I have connections, like pretty deep connections across the entire firm now, which I think not a lot of senior associates or staff have the ability to say.
Yeah. And it'll be fun as y'all all continue to grow together.
Exactly.
How that looks over the years as you guys all step into more leadership roles.
Yeah. I think if you look at the original founders of the firm and the people who have been here since the beginning, they were really good friends and they have been for a really long time. Mm-hmm. NextGen is building those relationships so we can have a similar camaraderie down the line.
Yeah. It's kind of like our culture is built on friendships.
Yeah.
And this is a program that definitely emphasizes that too.
Definitely.
So what excites you most for young professionals who are either just, maybe they're getting started in their careers or have a few years under their belt? What are their opportunities?
I mean, everything is an opportunity. You just have to be able to go and take it. That's what's so great about being young is we haven't specialized yet. We haven't really gotten too deep into one aspect of our careers. We could do whatever we want, and we have the ability to still do that. If there's something that we want to do, we have a ton of opportunities here at the firm to do it and the backing to do it as well.
Yeah.
So just be able to go out there and recognize that you want something and go take it, because you'll have the ability to do so.
Yeah, it's kind of, having the confidence to raise your hand,
Definitely.
Submit ideas, share your thoughts, get involved. I'm sure all those things are what you're really passionate about and encourage other young professionals to do.
Yeah, you just can't be afraid of failure. Who cares if you fail? We're 25 years old. There's so much that we can still do. One failure, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, well, you know what I say, name something good that didn't come with failures, right? Failure is how you learn. It's how you change, adapt, and grow. So you have to be vulnerable enough to be okay with failing, but failing forward, right?
Yeah. And
are you going to come out of it?
Yeah. And I think a lot of, the more senior and the leaders here at the firm, they would rather that you try and fail than not try at all.
100%. Yes. It's all effort, right?
Yeah.
And that the attitude you have with it. Okay, Brandon. So lastly, any books, podcasts, fun show recommendations you have to leave with our audience? This could be for growth and development or just personal to you. What's currently grabbing your attention? Yeah.
So, being that I'm in WP Wealth, I listen to the Motley Fool podcast series, pretty regularly. It's great. If you're not really that involved in the markets or personal finance, it's really digestible information for you, just to update on what happened in the market that day. That's a great podcast to listen to. TV shows. I'm a big fan of Billions and Peaky Blinders, to name a few. I think that actually those two shows you could relate both. They're fun, but also there's some development that you could take away from there. Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders and Bobby Axelrod from Billions. What I really like about them is, they're always plotting or scheming, but what is really great about what they're doing is when they make a decision, they can anticipate moves down the line. Mm-hmm. That's something that, I envy and I hope to be able to pick up, because right now I feel like when I make decisions, it's, just what's in front of me. Yeah. So I really like those. As far as books, I don't really get to read all that much. Everyone always tells me I need to. I keep saying yes, but I never do it. But I will say I've never really been a big fan of self-help or motivational books, but I do think that you should read. And what I would recommend is find someone, a famous person, a business leader, actor, whoever that you look up to, and read their autobiography. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a ton of great stuff that you could take away from there. And it's not necessarily those fluffy motivational books. I love that. Autobiographies are great because you get to learn about their failures too. Yeah. Right in them and how they grew from them. So I think that's great advice. Yeah. Yeah. No, there's a lot of great leaders out there. And really, if I do read a book, that's what it is. And you can just learn so much from them. You can. It's just hearing people's stories, right? Yeah. They're famous or, important for a reason. So yeah, I love that. Well, we'll be reading your autobiography one day too. So Brandon, it's been so great learning about the NextGen Council and the power it has, not just for our young professionals, but really the entire firm. So thank you for speaking up about a great idea, right? Sharing that. And 2, putting your time and effort into growing the firm and our young professionals. What you're doing is so awesome. And I hope people get a lot of value from listening to your story. Thank you. And thanks for having me. This is great. I will say, if you are a young person or a junior employee here at the firm and you're interested about NextGen Council, feel free to shoot me a note or something. Or if you just have questions or want to talk, I'm open. So. I love it. And if you're not at the firm, reach out to Brandon too, and he can help you get it started at your organization. Definitely. I love it. Well, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time. Cheers. Oh.